Hello once again, and welcome to another episode of the PPV review. And this time we've got the first ever big four pay-per-view in audio version. It is Summerslam 2012, and I'm sort of excited, sort of not, because we've had bloody awful pay-per-views in the recent couple of months in 2012. I think we've only had one really good one, and that was Extreme Rules. So we're always hoping that it could reach those heights again, and let's see if it does, shall we? So let's get into SummerSlam 2012. We start off as always, with a video package, and this one is on all about SummerSlam, as this is now the 25th anniversary of SummerSlam. They barely mention it, but in the video package they go through all the previous SummerSlams and all the previous moments, like when SummerSlam was held in Wembley Stadium in England, and I was always hoping that would be repeated, but it never really has. I remember when Raw was last in England in April. They all I think John Cena and Wade Barrett both said that WrestleMania should be held in England one day, and I definitely agree, because I would definitely go. But anyway, it also hypes up Lesnar versus Triple H, which I have a bad feeling about, which will be the main event instead of the WWE Championship match. We were at the Staples Center, which we usually are for SummerSlam, but although it's changing this year in 2015, it's going to New York, isn't it? And we get Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole on the comms. And then as soon as we start, really, we get, "Excuse me!" And Vicky Guerrero turns up. But she introduces my man, Mr. Money in the Bank, Dolph Ziggler, so it's all good. Tonight he's facing Chris Jericho, and I'm excited for that. Because, come on, Ziggler versus Jericho. This should be good. When Jericho comes out, I realise he's got taped up ribs. This is because Dolph Ziggler attacked him on SmackDown and threw some stuff into him and hurt his ribs. And then here we go. First match of the night, Dolph Ziggler versus Chris Jericho, and we're starting off hot. Dolph Ziggler does his heel tactics and runs away at the start. We get a brawl, which shows how hot this feud is. They want to get that across instead of technical wrestling. Just started punching each other. Chris Jericho controls the early going, but then Dolph gets back into it and targets the ribs. Obviously, he was very good at targeting the ribs in this match. Dolph is back body dropped over the top rope, and that looked pretty nasty. Jericho goes for the triangle drop kick, which I do like. I always like that move, but misses and goes over the top rope. Dolph talks trash, saying Chris Jericho can't win the big one, and every time someone says Chris Jericho can't win the big one, it always harps back to Brendan's Universe mode. Drop kick to the ribs, which is very nice. Big splash into the corner by Ziggler, and we get a 2 count. Net breaker, which is kind of like his Rude Awakening net breaker. It's kind of similar. He does a Y2J style cover where he just puts his foot on him and just tenses up his muscles. Only a 2 count though. Roll up by Jericho, 2 count. Another big splash by Dolph, but it misses. And a vintage double axe handle from Jericho. It's like, whoa, I haven't seen one of them for a while now. So it looks like Jericho's trying to get back in it, but then Dolph goes straight back to the ribs every time that he is in danger. We get a Famouser, 2 count. And then Jericho looks to get the walls of Jericho locked in, but that's reversed. Inzaguri by Jericho. It was a nice looking Inzaguri as well. Only got a 2 count. Sleeper by Ziggler. I really want him to bring that back, but I don't think he will be. Or if he's going to re-sign at all. That's the news currently, that Ziggler is not sure whether he's going to sign a new contract or not. It's going to make me very sad if he doesn't. Jericho fights off the sleeper. Top rope Hurricane Rana from Jericho is very nice, but it only got 2 count. Then Dolph Ziggler's huge DDT, but Jericho kicks out at 2. This is a good match. I would recommend watching it. Bulldog by Chris Jericho. Then we get a lion salt attempt, but then Jericho's knees are up. No, sorry, Dolph Ziggler's knees are up, and they land onto the ribs of Jericho. Which looks nasty. Zigzag, and I was like, damn, Jericho's gonna lose again, but he kicks out at 2. I was gobsmacked. No one kicks out of the zigzag. Codebreaker out of nowhere, but straight away afterwards it was weird. But then Ziggler has rolled out of the ring instead of Jericho getting to cover him. Vicky grabs on. Jericho rolls Ziggler back in the ring, but then Vicky grabs onto Jericho's legs. Dolph rolls him up. Thought that would be it. No, 2 count again. Come on. Dolph is sent shoulder first into the post. Into the ring post. Walls of Jericho. Dolph taps, surprisingly enough, and Jericho wins a big-ish one against Dolph Ziggler. It was a very good match and a good way to start SummerSlam. Commentators are talking, and I've just spotted that Piers Morgan is in the crowd. Boo! All UK people know Piers Morgan, and all of them hate him. We get footage of Brock Lesnar breaking HBK's arm, who was on Raw the previous week. Matt Striker interviews Heyman and Lesnar, which is never a good idea. Heyman does most of the talking. He just says that Triple H is going to tap out. And our next match up is Daniel Bryan versus Kane. No. Hell. I wonder if these guys would ever make a good tag team. I'm not sure. But anyway, the match starts. Kicks by Bryan, although they're all no-sold by Kane. Big boot by Kane. More kicks by Bryan. They're starting to have a bit of effect, but not really. Kane just throws Bryan over the top rope. Later on in the match, we get a missile drop kick by Bryan. No/yes kicks, whatever they're called now. Big clothesline by Kane. Top rope clothesline by Kane, which I love. I still love it, Michael. Choke slam, but it's reversed. Kane goes apeshit and almost gets DQ'd. He just keeps punching on Daniel Bryan. Bryan looks to get the no-lock in, but he can't. He goes for a flying headbutt, but it's caught by Kane. Like, he dives, but his Kane's hand comes up and gets him in the chokehold. It was pretty cool. Choke slam hits, but no cover though. He looks instead to go for the tombstone, but it's reversed into a roll-up. 1, 2, 3, Bryan wins. A quite quick match, and I'm assuming not going to be the last match we're going to see between them. And it wasn't bad for how short time they got. We cut to backstage after it, and Kane is running about and throwing shit and throwing Josh Matthews, which is funny because the fucking idiot starts to interview him. It's like, you're interviewing Kane after he lost a match after a roll up. I don't think that's the best idea, do you, Josh Matthews? And he absolutely gets destroyed. He gets thrown about. Next match is the IC title match, and I said in Raw 1000, I reckon Christian's coming in for his rematch clause. No. First music we get is Booyaka Booyaka 619. Hey. So Rey Mysterio shows up. I was like, I haven't seen him for a while, but yeah, Rey is facing off against The Miz for the IC title match. And at the start, Rey gets the better of Miz in every single way at the start. It just makes The Miz look pretty stupid. And it's pretty boring to start off with as well. This is kind of the end of Rey Mysterio's WWE career, wasn't it? Because in 2011, he won that WWE title, didn't he, for a week. And then lost it again. And then since then, he did nothing, did he, until the end of the career when he got let go last year. Miz does Nikki Bella's rack attack because haters gonna hate and Miz is gonna ball. Ray fights back, but there's a power bomb by Miz. It was quite nice actually. 2 count. Tornado DDT by Ray. Then we get the 619. I was like, ooh, could we have another title change? But no, he goes for the splash that he does off the top rope. Misses. Skull crushing finale. Reversed into a roll up. 2 count, but then straight away, almost afterwards, skull crushing finale, and Miz retains. Pretty boring match, pretty forgettable. Cut to Teddy Long and Eve Torres leaving AJ's office as she's the new general manager, obviously. Teddy Long goes on about how she's a great GM, and he sort of nods along. Punk is waiting outside, and he goes into the office. He moans about the triple threat match tonight, and how it's not fair. But that's not going to change AJ's decision. We get a promo package for Sheamus versus Del Rio. As soon as I saw it, I was like, not again. Ah, no, why would you do that? Why does he get a rematch? He lost his last match. And it was awful. It was a shite match last time as well. But anyway, my moaning won't change the matchups because it's 2012. But here we go. So, Alberto Del Rio versus Sheamus, World Heavyweight Championship. And here we go. But Cole at the start says Sheamus isn't 100%. But he isn't selling any injuries whatsoever. He looks exactly like he would normally. Both go over the top rope. We get a rolling senton by Sheamus. Del Rio takes out Sheamus by pushing him into the steps. Del Rio is in control. Here we go again. If you remember the last match, at Money in the Bank, it was exactly like this. It was Del Rio working over Sheamus, and then Sheamus gets the win. Oh, spoiler! That's what happens. Yep. So very boring. It just kills the whole crowd. Sheamus fights back until his shoulder goes into the post. Cross arm breaker, but Sheamus lifts him up to break it up, and then does like the powerbomb thing. White noise gets a 2 count. I think it's the first time he's actually covered someone after a white noise. Usually goes straight into the bro kick. Bro kick misses. Well, this is his problem. He shouldn't have covered him. He would have hit the bro kick then. But we do get the 10 shots on the apron. Sheamus goes into the exposed turnbuckle, and we get a step up enziguri by Del Rio, but it only gets a 2 count. Del Rio slaps Rodriguez for some reason. Then Rodriguez throws a shoe. It's aimed at Del Rio, but it goes over the top of him, and Sheamus catches it, then hits Del Rio in the head with it. Irish Curse backbreaker, pin, 3 count, but Del Rio had his foot on the ropes, but the ref didn't see it, and Sheamus knocks it off before the ref could see it. Del Rio is furious, and it's a very strange finish because it makes Sheamus look a bit like a heel, and Del Rio like a face because he deserved to stay in the match. But it's very weird. So are we seeing a Sheamus heel turn coming up? I don't think so. It's a very strange finish. I don't know why they booked it. Anyway, awful, god awful match. Don't ever watch that if you can help it. We go straight into our next match, which is finally the Primetime Players versus Kofi and R-Truth for the tag team titles. This has been months in the making. It's like 2 months ago that the PTP won that number one contenders tag match, and they still haven't cashed in their number one contenders shot. But they do come out here without AW, obviously. And then finally, I think this is the first time in ages that the tag titles have been on the pay-per-view. We get a Kobe Bryant chance due to AW's comments last month on a Raw, which has led to his firing, which I found quite funny that Kobe Bryant chants in WWE arena. Primetime Players work over R-Truth. Kofi hot tag, boom drop. Darren Young distracts Kofi, and PTP are back in control. Primetime Players then work over Kofi, hot tag to Truth, roll up by Young for 2. Truth hits his finisher, wherever it's called, I can't remember, and they win. It's really that boring. Very, very boring tag team match. And now we move on to the WWE Championship match. We get a promo of how, from the start of Punk's reign to when he turned heel at Raw 1000, now it's all about respect. And this is the one thing I love in WWE, if there is anything, is I love a heel who has a point to be angry, who has a point. And Punk has one of the biggest points, because I've been making it for the past 3 months. He's been disrespected by WWE as he hasn't had a main event. He hasn't main evented a pay-per-view, even though he's had the best matches. He doesn't even main event SummerSlam, and he's got John Cena his damn match. So yeah, Michael Cole even makes this point later on. I was like, he was like, the last time CM Punk main evented a pay-per-view was 2011, like late 2011. So I was like, yeah, exactly, but it's a little too late, Michael Cole, because I've been talking about it for the past however many months. So yeah, my point finally pays off, and I actually got put in a WWE storyline. That was weird. So yeah, John Cena is here, and well, why is he here? Because why is the Big Show here? He hasn't done anything to earn it. Anyway, the match starts, and obviously the Big Show is a giant, so he dominates the starting moves and stuff. He double suplexes Cena and Punk. We get a GTS attempt on Show, but it fails, as does the AA attempt from Cena. Show still in control. Big Show throws John Cena outside. CM Punk tries to do a springboard, but it gets caught. Cena comes back in, but Big Show spears John Cena. 2 count. Bonsai drop. I do love a bonsai drop. But Punk rolls out. He lays like Punk and Cena next to each other and tries to do a bonsai drop on both of them. But Punk rolls out the way, but Cena doesn't. So yeah, and then he only gets a 2 count. Show throws Punk out of the ring. Still in control, Big Show. This has been like legitimately 10 minutes. Sidewalk slam by Big Show. Cena gets a side suplex, so he looks for the 5 knuckle shuffle. But it's interrupted by a Punk clothesline. Flying elbow by Punk to Big Show, gets a 2 count. Koji clutch, sort of, but it's kind of the Koji clutch / Anaconda Vice. He only uses his foot now. Sort of by Punk, but Show powers out. STF by Cena on Show, and Show powers out of that as well. Top rope clothesline by Punk, nice. High running knee by Punk, and again by Punk, and then again, it was 3 times he did that. Top rope leg drop on Show by John Cena. Both Punk and Cena have their submissions on Show. And the Big Show taps, but who gets the win, obviously, because both of them had it in, so you can't really tell, even though John Cena had it in. No, sorry, CM Punk had his in on first. So surely, maybe if you had to say anybody, it would be CM Punk. But AJ comes out. She just stares at them both while they're moaning and says, "Restart the match," and then leaves. Both of them turn around and get a double choke slam by the Big Show. Only a 2 count on Cena. Then he moves over to Punk. And still, Punk kicks out a 2. AA by Cena on Show. Is this going to be it? But then Punk throws Cena out the ring and gets the pin, and he retains. I did like that finish, to be fair. It was a good match. Not as good as other WWE title matches that we've seen in the past, because obviously Daniel Bryan's not in it. And we got Big Show and John Cena instead of Daniel Bryan. But yeah, not bad. Cut to the pre-show, where we see a certain Antonio Cesaro, who's in the news recently as being a person who needs a push. Well, he came in, won the United States title from Santino, and he's still got Antonio to his name. The SummerSlam theme is now performed by a guy who I have no fucking clue, and the song is bloody awful, so I'll just skip over it, because I only watched 10 seconds of it and that skip. Yeah, it was that bad. And the crowd were booing it as well. It's just, you'd think that they'd get the message after so long of the people don't want to see a concert at a WWE show. They want to see wrestling. But no. But here we go anyway. Here is our main event. Yep, we're here already. The WWE SummerSlam 2012 main event is between a part-timer and a part-timer. Is this really the best option? Because they've kind of figured out, I think, by now, like in 2015, like with WrestleMania and stuff, they know that part-time, apart from, like, you can't have 2 part-timers main event a show. It's just not going to work. But this one they kind of do, but because it's Brock Lesnar versus Triple H. I'm guessing Triple H has been there quite a lot, but I don't think Brock Lesnar has. But anyway, stop me moaning. We're gonna get right into it as it starts out strong as Brock Lesnar goes for the arm straight away and like for his Kimura lock, because obviously he doesn't use that anymore. But this was his main focus of attack because he was just come out of a UFC. We get a clothesline over the top rope to Lesnar by Triple H. Get a high knee by Triple H. Again, Lesnar goes over the top rope again. It was the second time in like 10 seconds. Takedown by Lesnar, like a proper UFC technique. Takedown. Loads of shots. We get a brawl at ringside. Lesnar gets the better of Triple H and then shouts, "My house!" And I didn't realise that Lesnar was a fan of Paige. But hey, even in these days, when she was probably 2012, I don't know. Was she in NXT yet? I don't know if NXT had started yet. I'm guessing it had. I'm not quite sure of when it did. But it was either FCW or NXT. I think she was in the WWE fold at this time. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, Brock focuses his attack on the broken arm of Triple H. The one arm that he broke earlier on in the year. German suplex. We only get like one tonight. It's a shame. DDT by Triple H. But Brock continues to target the arm. Triple H is thrown into the steps, and then Brock throws Triple H over the announce table. But then Triple H starts to fight back. We get after a clothesline by Lesnar. Triple H hits a big suplex, and he throws Lesnar into the corner at the point of the announce table, rib first, and Brock sells it, to be fair, pretty well and shouts that his stomach is hurting because of his diverticulitis or whatever. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. This is when Triple H starts targeting the gut and becoming the cerebral assassin, which is what I kind of like, because I remember, I think it was JR's podcast where he said that faces should still be allowed to use like targeting an area if it's weak, because it's not a heel tactic. It's just common sense. It's just logic. Because if one of your opponent's limbs is hurting, you'd go after it, wouldn't you? Because it would make you easier to win. But WWE still think it's a heel tactic because you never see faces do it anymore. Anyway, we get a spine buster. Nice. I missed that move. The double A spine buster, obviously. Pedigree, which is reversed, and then we get an F5 that's reversed, and then we do get the pedigree that's hit, but it's only a 2 count. Low blow by Brock Lesnar, but the referee was instructed earlier in the night by Triple H to not DQ anyone because this has got to be a fight to the finish. This is what Triple H told him, so he just lets it go. F5, Brock Lesnar. No, sorry, Triple H kicks out. Straight away, Kimura locked in. But Triple H grabs the rope, but that doesn't count because they said no DQs. He punches Lesnar in the gut to break out of it. Pedigree, straight away. Bang, pedigree. But as soon as he tries to turn him over, Kimura locked in. So he just completely no-sold the second pedigree, which I didn't like that much. And then Triple H taps, which means Brock wins a pretty good match, but I didn't like the finish. I also realised I don't know how many times Triple H has tapped out in his career, to be fair. And there we go. Brock Lesnar walks off, and Triple H walks off sadly, and shut mouths "I'm sorry" to the crowd, as if this was his last match. But in hindsight, 3 years later, he's still wrestling. So, but I think he takes a bit of a break, doesn't he? He turns from sort of a semi-part-timer, semi-full-time to a part-timer fully now, isn't he? Because I think I think there's no wrestling for him from SummerSlam till WrestleMania 29, I think. But yeah, here we go. Not bad pay-per-view at all. There were some good matches, like the Dolph Ziggler Chris Jericho. The WWE title match was pretty good, and so was the main event. Daniel Bryan Kane wasn't bad, but there was some awful ones, like the tag titles, like the IC title, like the World Heavyweight title. But yeah, not too bad. I think it's probably not too bad. It's probably the second best pay-per-view we've had this year, which is a surprise. I wouldn't think that's that after all the crap that we've dealt with. I guess Brock Lesnar and Triple H makes it go from awful to not bad in the pay-per-view world. Anyway, on with match of the night. And, you know, this was quite difficult because there wasn't a standout match really, but I decided to go with Ziggler versus Jericho just because it was a surprise to see them two wrestling, and it was a great way to start the show. Very good match. I want to see another match between these two. To be fair, if there isn't one at Night of Champions, I won't be happy. But yeah, it was slightly better than, because they were all bad points to the other good matches, like the WWE title match. The Big Show was involved. That's a bad point. And the finish of the main event wasn't that good. So that's why I gave it to Ziggler and Jericho. MVP, I'm going to give to Jericho because he finally wins the big one in 2012. Because I don't think he'd won a match, to be fair. Because he was feuding. I remember at the beginning of the year he was feuding with Punk for the WWE title. Obviously didn't win that. I think at one pay-per-view he was in the World Heavyweight title match. Didn't win that. And then he took a bit of a gap, bit of a break, and he came back with Ziggler, and he's finally won a match, which I'm pleased for. And it was one of his better performances, to be fair. He worked well indeed with Ziggler. And yeah, that's all we've got time for, I'm afraid, folks. So if you did enjoy this pay-per-view review of SummerSlam 2012, please make sure to give the video a like by either doing it on the video or giving me a positive rep on the Brendan Plays forums, where this will also be posted. Also, if you have any views on the pay-per-view review show or SummerSlam 2012, or just me in general, I hate that. I do like the idea of pay-per-view review, but I just hate that guy. But yeah, do tell me by either writing in the comments or posting a comment on the Brendan Plays forums. Yes, so if you haven't subscribed, please already do so. Next time will be Night of Champions, and we're getting towards the end. To be fair, folks, we're heading towards the end of 2012 now. So we're going to start looking towards the future and what holds for the pay-per-view review, and I will explain that in the upcoming weeks and months. But yeah, Night of Champions next, where all titles will be defended, including the United States title, which probably means it will be the first showing for Antonio Cesaro on our old podcast here. So yeah, that'll be good news. But anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed, and I will see you next time.